Chapter 4. Presenting the product. Synopsis. A few individuals merely read the private label rights material word for word. Other people get more originative with the way they deliver their private label rights material audio product. Here are a few different ways you are able to deliver your info. Get creative. Carry out an interview. Have an acquaintance or relative question you about your subject. The idea here is to make you appear like an authority. Set up the questions beforehand and have your responses already made out. Make certain you keep it really professional and on subject. As well, you can interview someone else. Having an authority record an audio interview is a really simple way to impress your customers. Experts may supply fantastic value to your product and offer supplementary insight on your subject. Discover the experts on your subject. You are able to discover experts by executing a Google search for those who have sites on your subject or who are authoring articles about your subject. Drop a line to the authority and invite an interview. Give a formal request to the authority explaining who you are, your site and subject, and why you'd like to interview him or her. Invite an audio interview, then cross your fingers and hope the reply is yes. Make out the questions that you'd like your authority to answer. Take your time and produce sensible questions. You are able to even ask your customers for questions they'd like answered. Send off the questions to the authority once he or she has agreed to be questioned. This will give your particular guest time to sufficiently prepare for the interview. Arrange the particular date and hour for the interview. Contact the authority the day before the interview to corroborate that his or her plans haven't shifted. Likewise, confirm your meeting place if you're meeting in the flesh or which number you ought to utilize on the day of the interview. Be on time. Telephone or arrive at the stipulatory time. Don't be late to the interview. Carry on your interview in a professional fashion. Let the guest finish his or her sentences without disruptions. You might wish to ask follow-up questions to intriguing points the authority brings up. Thank your guest verbally on audio and again after you've switched off your recording. Answer any queries your guest might have about where to discover and download your product. Publish your product with the interview. Produce a course. Turn your info into a course of study. Utilize the basic info as an introduction and then move into your other more innovative subjects. Depending upon the subject you pick out, you are able to even think about assembling some kind of study guide or worksheets to put in with your audio product as an incentive. Net courses may be every bit as good as traditional lectures, workshops, and independent learning, yet they've an added advantage. They enable both instructors and pupils to work according to their own optimal pace and agenda. Planning successful net courses, all the same, calls for educators to comprehend the differences, both honorable and not so great, between real-time, face-to-face direction and the many variances of online course structure. Realize that a successful net course calls for more than simply putting materials online and then expecting your pupils to teach themselves. Prompting pupils is challenging enough face-to-face. Getting rid of personal interaction will doom the course to failure. Formulate a clear-cut description of the course, including an intro or overview, goals and mileposts, and essentials or requirements. Produce a frequently asked questions (FAQ) section that predicts queries pupils often have to avoid having your email or use a bulletin board flooded with requests for common info. Get acquainted with available computer-based presentment and recording tools, both computer hardware and software packages, so that you are able to select those most advantageous based on substance and sort of interaction, and whether the course will be updated in the future or merely replaced. Learn how to utilize not just the instruction capacities of the programs but likewise the construction and customization capabilities. Ascertain how you wish to deliver your course, e.g., audio, streaming audio, or in a self-standing product with audio and transcripts. Once you formulate your course of study, produce it for the format in which it will be presented, and, more than likely, duplicated or recycled. For instance, you might present a product the initial time as a real-time live webinar with call-in chat, but record it as a downloadable audio. Record and produce your presentation, recalling to refer to particular media or visuals, and adding pauses or click commands as essential. When you've the whole presentation in the proper format and in the suitable order, map the final contents to a timeline. Change over files to a compressed format, upload the files to the suitable server or website, and/or burn backup or distribution CDs. Produce a series. A few subjects are best put together as a series rather than one hyperlong audio product. Split up the content. This will make it much simpler for your buyers to utilize it as a learning tool. It will likewise have a greater perceived value once you lay it out as a series. Whether your customers are commuting, exercising, or just don't feel like reading, audiobooks may be great for relaxation of amusement. Regrettably, a lot of audiobooks are distributed digitally as only a fistful of files, which may make navigating them tough. But you can give your customers what they are looking for by using free software that is available that lets you break your audiobook into as few or as many files as you like. We will cover tools in a later chapter. Notice the times of where you wish your files to quit and begin. Open your audio in Audacity, which is available on the net. Pick out a time span by highlighting the audio wave shape. Utilize the corresponding timeline above the waveform to pick out times for your edit. Utilizing the file menu, pick out a format, MP3, WAV or OGG, to export. Duplicate as required for additional cuts. Feature a live session. If you're comfy enough, you are able to present your product in a live session. Ask in everyone you know. Travel to assorted discussion boards and announce it so you are able to acquire a few listeners. After you present the info, invite the audience to ask questions. Chapter 5. Get the correct tools.